I'm kind of making this video just for like a reminder to myself, but also just a reflection in reflecting on what's fucking happening in the US government right now, specifically with RFK wanting to start banning medications that are going to help people. It's really scary. I've been like, probably tell from my voice, I'm like getting off being like sick. I still have like this upper respiratory thing happening. It typically like affects my vocal cords, so that like my voice gets really bad. But I haven't, I know my treatment. Like I have asthma, so I have my inhalers, and then I also have a nebulizer, and I have the liquid albuterol, which is great. But I've been really reliant on it over the last like maybe less than a week, just about a week. It's been really bad, okay? And the fact that I'm able to sit here and make a video right now is crazy, because I woke up from a sleep. I haven't slept like a full night of sleep in weeks. And like I must have fallen asleep for like an hour and a half or so, 2 hours maybe. I woke up coughing, which I'm like, all right, I'm coughing. No big deal. I'm just gonna plug in my nebulizer, and life is good. And when I went to plug it in, I had to also reach for my my vials so I could like put it in the machine, and like I couldn't detach it from the other vials, and it was like frustrating. And in my brain I started saying, oh, why aren't you panicking? And then I gave myself a fucking panic attack, because I finally got the vial in, and like I was taking my medicine. For anybody that understands like the nebulizer, like once you like that, you turn it on and you see the steam, you're like, yes, life is good again. And just like I couldn't catch my breath, okay? And so I don't know if anybody's ever had a panic attack, but if you have had a panic attack, you probably know what came next. I couldn't catch my breath. It was like shortness of breath, and I kept saying in my brain, I'm okay, just try to breathe. And the more I did that to myself, I fucking literally couldn't breathe. Now, usually after a few minutes, I can kind of like, distract myself and I'm fine. It just wouldn't happen, to the point where like I was like screaming. I was like breathily trying to like scream for help, okay? My daughter was in the other room, had her headphones on, didn't even hear me. Her father came running up, and he's like, oh my God, are you okay? And I was like, can't breathe. So like he just saw me like stood up, machine's still going, and like I just like I have to like lean over and put my hands on my knees and like try to take deep breaths, and it was working. But like because I'm because my voice is this way, and because like my chest hurts from coughing so much, and like I couldn't get like a good like normal person deep breath. And it was like, usually I would have turned the corner by then, and it just like took a really long time, and it got really scary, to the point where I was like, oh shit, do I have to call like 911? Am I gonna die? Is tonight the night I'm gonna die? This is the shit that like happens when you start to have a panic attack. And like this started for me, I want to say I don't know, like maybe less than a year after my brother had died in 2019. He actually 2020, because he died in October of 2019. And like it's still like I can't get over it. I still can't get over it. It still affects me every single day. And I started having panic attacks, and while they like have gone away, like I remember for 2 days straight, like I didn't sleep. And it was horrible. Like I didn't know what was happening to me, and I kept going to this doctor, and they're like, well, we can't give medications here, like like a Xanax. He's like, I can prescribe you X, Y, and Z, but like if this persists, like you need to go to an ER. And I ended up 2 days later, because I went back again, and the man was so sweet, and I love him. That whole doctor's office sucks though, but he's like such a shining light, and he deserves better. But anyway, I ended up going to the ER, and like they gave me a Xanax for the first time, and it was like I slept great. I remember like, because I could hear Impractical Jokers on in the background when I was in like in the hospital room, and like I fell asleep. I don't know how long I was asleep for. It could have been an hour, 2 hours, but I just remember it being the best sleep of my life, because it was like days I hadn't slept. And so like ever since then, it's not been the same for me. I don't know. Is it a product of it's a culmination of a lot of things, I'll be honest with you. It's a culmination of the fact that we had gone through COVID, lost my brother. My health just has not been the same. The house I was living in at the time, you know, our landlord kept saying, hey, I might be selling it, might be selling it. You know, he ended up selling it like at the end of 2023. And that was like the most horrible experience I've ever gone through. And, you know, here we are again. It took me a really long time. The first time I had a panic attack, it took me a really long time to be able to even make my Dunkin' run. And if you know me, that was very, very difficult. I know it's like kind of silly, but like it was really hard for me to get in a car. I was actually scared at one point that I was going to start to have agoraphobia. Phobia. And I was really scared I wasn't gonna be able to drive anywhere. And so also my daughter has epilepsy. So like, God forbid something happens to her. And that was another thing that like set me off that I just never bounced back from in 2021. She was diagnosed, or was it 2020? Fuck, I can't even remember dates. But it was like right at the onslaught of the pandemic, okay? Like luckily for us, our schools had gone full remote at that point. So she was diagnosed at the same time. So it actually worked out. It was very beneficial that, you know, we just found out she had epilepsy, she had to be medicated, and she was fully home, and it worked out at the time. You know, going forward in the school systems, okay, and this is another thing politically, it's really pissing me off. You know, they have the Department of Education that, you know, helps fund programs for kids like my daughter who have disabilities, because epilepsy is a disability. But, you know, other disabilities outside of that. And I think people lose sight of the fact that it covers so much stuff. And, you know, our political pawns in office, they don't give a fuck about the big picture. They think about the little minutiae that's like built into these bills, but affects such grand masses of people. And like right now, I think the administration that we have, they literally give zero fucks. Their entire intention, and it pisses me off so much that so many people were so gung-ho about fucking Trump saving the fucking economy, and you guys still sing his praises, you fucking crazy fucks. Like, honestly, like, wake the fuck up and see what is happening. Like, it's like people, they're like, oh, you're Democratic, so like, I'm not gonna listen to you. Well, I'm not a Dem, okay? I'm a fucking independent, by the way. But I'm just somebody who pays attention to the shit that's going on around me. I'm also a very empathetic person, and I care very much about not only what happens to me, but how things affect other people. And I think that's a very huge problem that we have in this country, that people do not think beyond their little fucking scope of being, okay? And I know everyone's like, you know, the right will blame liberals for like having bleeding hearts, but you know what? Like, y'all say, we love Jesus. You fucking do not, okay? You fucking just hide behind the fucking cross. Like, I don't even know. The cross and the Bible are such bullshit shenanigans to you. I'm not even religious. You're just full of shit, basically. You follow this orange fuck around. You think he talks a good talk, and he does, and I will give him that. You know, he's a celebrity. He was a guy that was on TV. He knows all about schmoozing and buttering people up to get his way. That's been his whole life. And you eat it up. You eat it up like he's a fucking Taylor Swift. You eat him up like he's like a big fucking celebrity. And you don't recognize that we actually need fucking sound leadership in the office. And granted, you're going to say, oh, Biden was not that great. You know what? He was like the best choice at the time, okay? And that's the problem with the two-party system, is that you're always picking the lesser of fucking two evils, okay? If it were up to me, I'd abolish the whole fucking two-party system. It's bullshit. We need more strong people to fucking leave the Democratic side, or even, I don't even know, Republicans, I still don't trust you. I'm sorry, I just really don't. I don't know what you've turned into, but you're fucking monsters at this point. Anybody who says, I'm gonna go run as Republican and use common sense like a Bill fucking Spadia even, oh my God, I'm in New Jersey, I'm so sick of it. I really wanna like a Bill Spadia, and I can see him as a charismatic person, people voting for him, but just don't get lost in the sauce, you guys. He literally made a comment that we need a Doge in fucking New Jersey. Are you fucking kidding, bro? Like, fuck off. Like, I'm so sick of these bootlickers for Trump, that they're so fucking scared to stand up for him. Women have bigger balls than half of these men in politics, okay? If you haven't seen Jasmine Crockett and AOC lately, pay fucking attention. But my point is, like, it's just really disheartening to see, like, people go down these paths. Like, you know, the Democratic Party, I think that we've seen that, you know, they've been so stuffy. They come in with their suits and ties and they talk a good game, even with everything that's going on. We got like a Hakeem Jeffries sitting up on a podium saying, oh, there's nothing we can do. Are you fucking kidding? Like, get the fuck out of office, buddy, because we don't need somebody like you. You know, like, there's nothing more disgusting to me as somebody who at least claims to stand up for others and to represent others, you're literally a lying down dog. You're like up there, you're a fucking coward. You have to fucking fight. You have to fight. And I think it's really scary for people, regular day-to-day people, because it's like we were so like, we feel like our hands are tied, right? Like we don't know what to do. Like we're dependent, so dependent on these fucking pawns in a fucking political, scope to like, to protect us and to speak for us. And they fucking don't even know how. All they know is how to play the fucking game against the other side. When push comes to shove, they don't know what the fuck they're doing. They don't know how to protect us. That's not what they were built for. They were built to be fucking suits, fucking talking heads in an office. That's what they were built for. Okay, like it's disheartening. And I've only ever seen a handful of people speak up. And I'm telling you, Jess McCrockett and AOC, they fucking give a shit. But this whole rigmarole, okay, it's just disheartening to see everything that's going on. Like this administration has done nothing but take rights away from people. And I remember having like back and forth conversations with people that I've known for such a long time that are like, yeah, Trump is so great, and this Bidenomics, and he's gonna make this economy so good, and this has been the worst 4 years. You think Biden controls everything? The disgusting part is, and I think that, and I hope people see this, is that while the president does have the power to kind of do what he wants, a good president understands also that there are those three branches, and we have to use the system that's put in place. The reason it was put in place is to prevent something like a fucking broligarchy that's happening right now, a monarchy that's kind of going on. He wants a fucking dictatorship, okay? He wants to say, fuck all these rules, I'm fucking ignore them, I'm gonna do whatever I want, and that is very scary. The fact that he's our 47th president, that 46 fucking presidents before him were able to kind of keep it cool and like follow the fucking system that's put in place, because they understood at the end of the day is like their job isn't to like give themselves power, it's to protect the people. And that is so lost sight of. And this administration gives no fucks. You know what the big fucking grand scheme of things is, you guys? This is my like crazy fucking, tinfoil hat theory, right? It all started when I got an email from Robinhood, which is like a crypto, whatever, like investments platform. And it told me, hey, Trumpcoin is available. And it was available on January 20th. By the way, it keeps going down and down in value, ironically, unironically also. But here's what I was really thinking was happening here, okay? And I think we all kind of saw it. Like, I was in the NFT space for a little while in like 2021, all right? And I learned a lot. I learned a lot about, people who try to play like they're authentic, and then they care, and like you purchase their NFTs and you get something of value in it, blah, blah, blah. This one's a little bit different, and I might do a little bit more of an explanation on it as I read more of the white papers on Trumpcoin. But this is literally Trumpcoin. It's not like selling an NFT, although I think that you do get something for investing in the Trumpcoin. There's a certain amount in circulation right now, and they have it set, and this is like typical in like an NFT, like crypto space. Mostly it's just an NFT space where they have like a controlled circulation, and at certain points of time they'll re-release more until they hit like whatever their maximum is, okay? And what I really feel like is happening, Doge, they have their name by design, by the way. I really feel like with the takedown of all like, the federal sites and, places where people would access their benefits, and maybe like if you're getting SNAP or you're getting your refund for the taxes, you would be getting them either electronically right into your bank account, which is also very scary because the IRS has our information, and now everything's being exposed. Okay, that's a conversation that's going on right now in Congress. And if you get a return, you have the ability to get like a debit card back, or you have it go into your account, whatever it is. Here's the tinfoil moment. I really feel like what's actually going to happen is that they need time to take all of this money, assess what they have, map it up to whatever amount that they were going to circulate for the Trump coin. And people who are going to get benefits, people who, SNAP benefits, Medicaid, They want to make sure that people are not misusing it. And also with your tax refund, I swear to God, I bet you they're going to make sure everybody starts to have crypto wallets. And instead of getting money, instead of getting American dollars, I think that it's all going to get converted to Trumpcoin. And I think that there's a reason why it's all going to be in circulation and all be released at certain times. I would not be surprised if people who are going to get these benefits down the line, if they intend to keep them, will start getting it in form of Trumpcoin, which means you're only going to be able to use it for a certain thing. So unless he takes like all these big tech bros, gets them to all convert their systems to crypto and to be able to accept Trumpcoin, they're going to be able to like very much control what people are allowed to spend that money on. That is what's going to happen. I'm telling you right now, with all the kind of crypto, you can use it for all different things, but you also have to convert it back and forth between fiat, which is like the American dollar, and then like cash it out for American dollars or whatever. I don't know if we're going to be able to do that. Who knows? Right now, Trumpcoin is like a meme coin. It's available on the Solana platform. It's not on like an Ethereum blockchain, so it's a little bit different. And I think that there's less red tape when you go through a Solana platform. Read up a little bit into crypto if you want to know a little bit more. Like, I'm not a pro by any means, but I'm happy to like do like deep dives and have like conversations we can all have together. I'm actually looking to like try to like, you know, use Clubhouse again. I really love that app, and I would love to have like open convos, because that was a really great space, you know, in 2021, 2022. But I think that that's the path that they're going down. It like literally, it's gonna happen. Like, I really just feel it. So just pay attention to that. Maybe it's not so much of a tinfoil hat moment, but that's really what I think is going to be happening. So start paying attention. And, you know, if you have like Coinbase, which is an app where you can look up all the different cryptos, or you can just look it up on, you know, I actually don't remember like all the different sites. I'll have to start sharing some shit. I have to like re-educate myself, because I left that NFT space a while ago. Web3 they call it, which is like not a thing, whatever. And just watch how Trumpcoin goes up and down. And once like benefits start getting doled out, they're going to come in the form of Trumpcoin. I'm telling you, it's going to happen. That's my theory. I don't know. What do you think? Maybe crazy, maybe not. I don't know. I think it's going to happen. So you people that ignored Project 2025 and the Heritage Foundation, you just chose willful ignorance. It was out there in plain fucking sight. I don't know. I don't even like to read, and I read that shit. Okay? I don't know if Hooked on Phonics didn't work for you. I don't know if it went over your head. You just wanted to be in such fucking denial that you ignored it. And every fucking page, you know what page is coming up next, bitch? You know what page is coming up next? We're barely scratching like page 5. Okay? Just from the introduction. It was taking away all the rights, and like first I was actually just reading this, and it was so ironic that it just happened to be Susan B. Anthony Day the other day, the woman who fucking voted that worked so hard for women's suffrage and so many other rights for women to have, that they wanted to strip all the gender ideologies. It's talking about reproductive rights in that page. Like, I'm literally gonna share it, okay? Like, I'm gonna fucking share it. It's fucking crazy wild. Next, they're coming for the traditional family. That's what's next. They're stripping away rights from everybody, specifically women. We're literally going back to the 1800s, where women were property. Women's History Month is in March. They're not going to recognize it now, because they think that, like, you know, ignorance is bliss, right? Like, we're just going to strip everything off of the fucking calendar. Like, we're all fucking stupid and don't understand how the way we've fucking lived in society. Now he wants to create a fucking, you know, Donald Trump birthday day as a fucking holiday in June. These are the fucking priorities, you guys. My point is that, like, it's just really, it's sad and it's scary that all of this is happening. It's very scary. You know, the traditional family is coming up next. That was heavily highlighted just even in the introductory few pages of Project 2025. The nuclear family, a man and a woman, and everything else. And did you know, way back when, women didn't even have rights? They couldn't even have their own, and you're seeing it now, by the way. If you missed the SAVE Act that is happening, It's going to make it very hard for people. It's like the birthright citizenship. You have to prove your birthright citizenship in order to vote. And it contradicts itself too, because you have to show like, you know, your birth certificate and your license, and your birth certificate has to match your license. Well, if you got married and you changed your last name, you're going to have to go and either, I don't know, like get a new license or change your name back to your maiden name, which is actually more beneficial for you, by the way. It's more beneficial for you. They don't know what they're doing. It's actually more beneficial because if you look back in the history, I want to say it was like the early 1820s or like 1816 or something like that. Women, when they got married, and I've talked about this before, they were just another, like an extension of the man. They lost all autonomy. All right. Their job was to just be an extension of the man, be their basic servant in the house, cooking, cleaning, bearing children. They didn't have rights to own property. They weren't allowed to get a divorce. Like that wasn't a thing then either. And so, you know, a lot of people go back and they're like, yeah, well, my grandparents are married forever, bitch, because your grandmother wasn't allowed to leave your grandfather. Oh no, I turned into Elon for a minute there. My fa's and ba's. They weren't allowed to leave your grandfather. So that just like they weren't allowed to. And once women were able to do that, there were so many more single women. Like Susan B. Anthony is a really great, like, you know, example of that, because she was like, I'm not fucking getting married. Like, because when you got married, you got one family vote. That's their goal, you guys. They got one family vote and everything else. Like, that's it. You got like no rights. You couldn't work, nothing. So once women started advocating for themselves, which is what we need to do, and they finally fought, they got their rights, they got their right to divorce, and the women were able to get their own jobs. They were actually able to take jobs in public offices and things like that. That was unheard of. And you know, once women could finally get a divorce, they were able to get their own property, they were actually able to have a bank account, all things opened up. Okay. And it wasn't even just like Susan B. Anthony wasn't just advocating for women, it was also people of color at the time too. There was a lot happening in women's history that involved not just women, it was anybody who was you know, just like a underrepresented voice. You know, it was women and people of color fighting in the 1800s to try to get everything. 18s and the early 1900s. Like there's so like a huge timeline. I actually have a 2-hour, I call it a podcast, but like a 2-hour like conversation I had with myself on the phone. But I'm breaking it up into like a 4-part podcast that I did like months ago. I did it actually before the election, but I never got around to releasing it because I wanted to do it during like Women's History Month and stuff. But it was just like a lot of work. Editing's fucking really hard. So I literally did the most simplistic thing and just like took 2 hours and just cut it up into 4 half-hour pieces. But there's so much happening that, you know, when we talk about Trump rolling back history, it's a real fucking thing. Because if you compare what's happening now and you look back at the women's history timeline, the women's rights timeline, you will be blown away. All right. And I know there's like a lot of people that are just still in denial that, you know, nobody lost their right. Yeah, we fucking lost our rights, okay? And you're going to find out. You're going to find out the hard way. You know, everyone keeps saying throughout, you know, like all the socials, fuck around and find out. And I honestly hate that. I hate that. I hate rubbing shit into people's faces. I'm still pissed. I still wrote a lot of Trump lovers like out of my life. Some I still have to work with, and it's really hard for me because I care about them as people, but the fact that they didn't care enough to vote for people pisses me off. But you know, we're all suffering. We're all going to suffer for this. So it brings me no joy to say, haha, you fucking idiot. It, like maybe a tiny bit of joy, but the fact of the matter is we're all going to end up suffering for this. And I remember specifically having a conversation with one of my friends. Like, he was just so very like, well, you know what? Like, you know, do you really want to go to war? Bitch. It's the worst possible outcome that we could have imagined. We're literally making enemies with our fucking allies. Canada fucking hates us. Mexico fucking hates us. China fucking hates us. I mean, I think we were beefing with them anyway. And clearly, Trump and his little cronies are in bed with Russia. So this fucker was talking to me about, oh my God, don't you want to avoid a war? Are you fucking dumb? I hope he's eating his words. I hope he's eating his words. I hope that he's kicking himself in the fucking ass, in the balls, whatever it is, and sees how fucking literally dumb it was for him to sit there and think that Trump was the answer to this country's woes, because it has done nothing. It has done nothing but awaken the most brazen, unapologetically disgusting humans and given them a voice. That is all that it has done. It has just infused this world with hate. I'm not a hater. Just by nature, I am just not a hater. And it's so sad to me that people will still choose hate over all else. The fact that people can look at Kanye, he launched a fucking shirt with fucking swastikas on it in the middle of the Super Bowl. Oh my God. And by the way, that Super Bowl, if you fucking did not get the Kendrick Lamar message, I'm sorry that it went over your head, because it was so politically ingrained. It just tells me that you are so unempathetic to other people's plights that you are not able to see and read between the lines. I felt that. And I actually was just I cannot stop saying, sometimes it just goes through my head. It's like an earworm. Is they not like us. They not like us, because they aren't. And when I say it, I'm just these fucking people on the right who just go through life with blinders on. They think that it's if I just ignore it, it's gonna go away. It's not gonna go away. It's gonna keep festering. And the people that continue to support Trump, I just will never see eye to eye. And I really just, if any of you are my friends and you end up watching this, I just hope that you know that we are not the same. We are not the same. I don't want to hate you, but I also need you to understand that I cannot support you and I cannot be your friend. A vote for Trump voted against me and my daughter, and you put our lives and our safety in danger. You put our livelihood in danger. You made it so much more hard for people like us, people of color, the LGBTQ community, to live our lives in peace and happiness, all for control. You'll be the first ones to say, if you don't like it, just turn it off, or ignore it, or just whatever. But why can't you do the same? I'm not a religious person. I'm not all up into the Bible, but hey, my daughter was very curious about it, and I was like, girl, go for it. Go to church with your friends, learn about it. See if it's something that you're really interested in. And I wish more people were open-minded about that. But it's very sad to see people in this new administration hide behind the Bible, and they are the antithesis of it. How bored was Trump? During when the bishop, she was talking, and everyone's oh my God, she was so terrible. No, she wasn't. She was just calling it like it was. But this guy, he's not a Christian. He even said he's not a Christian. And who cares? I don't care if he's a Christian or not. But don't fucking sit there behind Christian values and act like you're all high and mighty, okay? When you don't even follow them. You're a fucking hypocrite. Just stop it. Just be fucking real. I just don't understand why the right is so hell-bent on destroying things. We don't have to destroy stuff. There is such a way that so many of us can actually have a fucking literal normal human conversation without fucking alien Elon in the fucking picture, which he really is. I swear to God. Have you ever seen V? You remember that show back in the day? And then look at Elon and the way he says his V's and B's and how his mouth is weird. I can't. Okay, I can't unsee it. We can literally all have a conversation. We can figure this out. It doesn't have to be a constant fight between the right and the left. They don't care. They don't really care about what happens to us. We're just we're collateral damage, you guys. They have their own fucking whatever. I can't think of the word right now. Agendas. Yeah, agendas. That was the word. They have their own fucking agendas, and it doesn't include giving a shit about the American people. It just doesn't. It's really sad. I honestly really think if we ever get to vote again in 4 years, I hope the good people the people that want to fight from the Democratic side. And I hope that some of the people from the right who have literally just disavowed Trump, I hope that they can combine forces and literally create the independent, free-thinking, like, let's put our heads together and figure out a medium that works for everybody. There has to be that medium. This two system has got to go, and I think this is the time it's going to go. We need to, like, go back to the middle. We need to find the common ground again, and maybe that was the goal. Maybe there is a greater goal coming out of this. Who knows? But, like, taking away people's Social Security and Medicaid, like, I filed my taxes. Am I going to get my federal tax return back? Who the fuck knows? But I'll tell you something. I don't want to pay into federal taxes anymore. And they better rethink that strategy, because I'm not going to be paying into that. And if they're going to get rid of Social Security, why am I going to pay into Social Security anymore either? I'm not going to pay into that either. I actually went online yesterday, ssa.gov, and I looked at what my benefits would be. Now, the earliest I could retire and collect Social Security would be if I was age 62. And I would get a whole $2,008 a month. That doesn't even pay rent, bitch. Especially in New Jersey, okay? And that's the problem. Social Security doesn't pay out enough for people to live, all right? Because the cost of living is so high that once that happens, people have to also rely on Medicaid, okay? Because part of what I pay every single month is for health insurance. It's like $400 a month. It's disgusting, okay? If I retire at 65, then I get $700 more, which is really great. You can get the listing. I'll like post a link or something. And if I hold out until I'm 70, I get like $3,700 a month or something like that. Again, barely pays for rent, okay? I'm paying over $3,000 a month in rent in New Jersey right now. And it's disgusting, and it drives me out of my mind. And it's no wonder I'm having panic attacks. But this is like everything that's happening in this world right now. It's really hard to function. If you're feeling the same as me, just know that you're not alone. We're all just sitting here like, what the fuck do we do? Like, there's so much to do, and then it's like their job is to like throw so much at us right now. And by the way, don't be fooled by thinking, oh my God, Trump has done so much. He got ran the office and started signing shit. Like, he's not doing any fucking thing beneficial for the people. His whole goal was to just fuck Biden. Whatever he did that was good, he doesn't even care. He's just going to roll everything back. And the governors from all the other states that support him is disgusting. Listen, guys, we have a big governor election coming up, okay, in New Jersey. And I want you to start reading about the candidates. And, you know, I mentioned Bill Spadia. He actually left his radio show, okay, so that he could run. And part of me was like, this should be really interesting. But when he mentioned that New Jersey needs a Doge, bitch, we don't need a Doge. We can actually get legitimate auditors in there that will do things right. We don't need some 19-year-olds looking at our business. I'm so scared. People are talking about like taking their money out of banks and putting them into credit unions and everything else. And it's just like, what is going to happen? Are they going to take all of our money? You know, like what's happening? Anyways, I know I just like made a left right there. But yeah, we have a big election time coming up. And I know a lot of people don't like Murphy, but I personally think he did a good job. I hope that the state can stay blue. Because if it doesn't, we're going to be in danger. We're going to be in danger. I'm personally going to be in danger. My daughter's personally going to be in danger. And, you know, we may have to, I hope Canada will take us. I don't know. I really hope that Canada understands, and that all of our former U.S. allies who like fucking hate us now. No wonder we hated so many countries. What if they really weren't bad all this time? We were just fed bullshit. Thank God for social media, honestly. Like, I hope that our allies understand that is not the majority. We do not agree with what this administration is doing. We want out. We need help. We need people to help us, and we got to help ourselves. there's so much more of us than there are of them. So I don't know. Anyways, this was really cathartic for me, I will say, because I went from having like a full-blown panic attack, you know, like 3 hours ago, and I feel good right now, but it was very scary. And again, it's just like a culmination of being sick and everything else, I think, that's like on my mind, and like you just got to get it out. So I hope more people speak up about it and share. It's okay. And this is like a long-winded post, but you know what? This is like my little journal entry for the day. And if you're here and if you've, you know, gotten through it, you know, thank you for one thing. And, you know, the other thing is, if you are in the US, it's okay to feel like this right now. Like, we're all feeling it. We're all going through it. And it's kind of like debilitating and it's paralyzing, and we don't know what our next steps are. But, you know, what we can do is keep, you know, reaching out to our representatives, you know, hope that somebody has our back and will start fighting for us. And if not, then we just got to fight for ourselves. You know, write those letters, speak up. If you're on social media, use your platform. Now is the best time to just start putting your voice out there, okay? Because the best thing that we can do is share ourselves with somebody else, and just let somebody know that they're not alone, and B, hopefully encourage somebody to get it out, because it does feel good to just get it out, you know? It's not about the views, it's just about being authentic to ourselves and just like getting a message out there. And I don't know, I used to journal all the time. I used to write, and then I turned to vlogging. I haven't done it as much. It's been harder for me. And I think that it's negatively affected my health to not do things like this. So I'm trying to get better. But anyway, just take care of yourself. Speak up on things, share your story and everything else. And if you're a Trump supporter, I really hope that you hear these words and you really open your eyes to what is happening in this country, in the United States right now. This is not what I, as a non-right person, a non-Republican, signed up for. And I don't think it's what you as a voter signed up for. It's bad for all humans. This is bad for all humans, okay? This is not how it's supposed to go down. So, all right, I'm gonna finish my cold hash browns, but all right, take care of yourself. Have a good day. Bye.